always happens. I alguna pregunta. What I do want to know today is, do you have any little question from any of the videos you watched, or any kind of burning question thing that we should do first? Sometimes people have that after watching a video, like, why do they do this? Or no, not that.
Okay. Maybe too many questions to say right now.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said it, Kevin.
Yeah.
It's easier to understand than it is to form the sentences,
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. You know what? And that is an important thing. At the step you guys are at right now, it's the step one. It's the baby steps. And it is very normal and very appropriate for people to say, oh, I can pick up from listening comprehension what they mean, but it's hard for me to make my own sentences. That is a tougher step. That's normal, and that's a normal developmental process. There are a lot of people who, of course, there are a lot of people who pretty much claim you should spend the whole first year just listening. But, that does not always happen, because if you're going somewhere for vacation, you got to be able to speak a little bit too. So, it's, we have to kind of balance all of that. But yeah, the listening comprehension is always a skill that starts to develop first. And so if you feel like, well, I can hear things better, but I can't speak as easily, that's just what is normal. Okay, yeah, and I'm looking over my notes of what I need to do. Oh, sí, tenemos un video. We do have a video to start for the day too, which is going to kind of preview some things. Oh, I'm wondering how I can I get that off? No. Quizás no, maybe not. Okay, vamos a empezar. We're going to begin. Vamos a empezar. Y muy buenos días a todos. Happy or stressful election day, depending on your point of view, I guess. I mail stuff in, so I don't worry about standing in lines anymore. Okay, aquí vamos. Here we go. We've got a cute, really short video. I'll send you the link for the clip on this. And it's a little description of doggy. And she's going to use some verbs that So se llama, name is. You're going to hear tiene to talk about how old this little pet is. You're going to hear a little description. So the reason we're listening to this super short clip is so that you can hear a description. And today is adjective day, primarily description day, along with vocabulary and how we describe things. Pueden ver el perrito. Can you see our little dog here? See? Bien.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And I am hoping, I can't adjust the volume on this as well, or can I? Yeah, you're always kind of limited with that. Okay. Bueno, vamos a ver. Let's.
Ella es mi perrita Penny. Ella tiene 9 meses. Es schnauzer, es de raza schnauzer. Tiene unas orejas muy grandes y unos ojos muy grandes también. Es color gris claro, es muy juguetona y muy linda conmigo. Pero tengo un problema con Penny. Cada vez que saco a pasear a Penny
Every time I take her out to walk,
y ve a un niño,
and she sees the
ella se pone muy agresiva.
kid, she gets aggressive.
Quiere morder a los niños.
She wants to bite
Lo
kids.
extraño es que no hace eso con los adultos.
The odd thing is she doesn't do this with adults.
Ella
Okay.
es mi perrita.
Bien. And that is because it's a little, I think they make these for TikTok. Because that's a short clip, it just recycles and recycles. So
Mhm.
I'll give a little clip so you can listen again. And it's got the little questions in there so that you can quiz yourself. Did you get from this? ¿Cómo se llama? What's her name? ¿Cuántos meses tiene? How many months old is she? Mes is the word for month.
Mhm.
Because she's not a year old yet. 9 meses. Tiene 9 meses. She is 9 months old. Y cómo son las orejas. Las orejas. Sí, cómo son las
Ears.
orejas. What are her ears like? Y qué problema tiene. What problem does she have? Muerde. Le gusta morder a los niños. Uy, es gran problema. Wow, that's kind of a bad problem to have with your
Yeah.
doggy. My dog likes to bite. I
Yeah.
think we're maybe a little too litigious a society to have that be a small problem. Okay, today is all adjective day, and la casa as well. The la casa stuff as well. And of course, we're going to start to draw in everything about. Sometimes we use ser, sometimes we use estar, sometimes you'll be hearing tener. And let's take a quick look to see if you had any questions here. We had a whole lot of descriptions of people, and I asked you to take a quick look. This is more about ser versus estar, but, hopefully these are going to be drawn in, even though we're working adjectives more heavy duty than anything else. But ella es Meryl Streep, es buena actriz. I need to use buena, a feminine describer with actriz. Está contenta, she's happy. But look at this, when I say she is an actress, I'm identifying what she does for a living. Okay, and that's an ID. Same as putting a name on somebody, right? Es Meryl Streep, that's identifying, but also es actriz, that's identifying her, what she does. But está contenta is not an identifier. Está contenta, contenta is happy. And for how you feel or where you are, always use the verb estar, right? If we're not talking about health, feelings, location, very temporary or changeable things, right? If we're not talking about those, then we use ser. If we're talking about location, feelings, things that are easily changed, we use estar. Es de Estados Unidos, where she's from, it cannot change, right? Origin is ser. Es estadounidense is just a different way of saying es de Estados Unidos. Estadounidense just means U.S. citizen versus from United States. That word from, de, pegs origin, right? We could also say es norteamericana. Es rubia, es alta. All descriptions, what she really looks like. Está en Los Angeles, I'm telling where she is. Está en el estudio, where she happens to be, right? Where she happens to be working. If I were to talk about these gals, right? Son chicas, they are girls. Son atletas, they are athletes. Again, I'm identifying who they are. Ooh, look how young she looks there, that Miss Simone. Oh, she looks tan joven, so young there. She's a little bit older now. Son fuertes, they are strong. Strong is not how an emotion, it's, their physical state. Son de Estados Unidos, where they're from. Están contentas. Están nerviosas, maybe they feel nervous because it's before competition. Están en Tokyo, Japón. This is where their little photo was taken. Están en los Juegos Olímpicos. They're in the Olympic Games. Okay, and again, that's a location, the place where they are, right? If I were to describe this guy, who was, the hot thing for years and years on the track circuit, es un hombre, just identifying. Es atleta, just identifying. Es Usain Bolt. Okay, I'm telling what his name is, but I'm identifying. Es muy rápido. He's very fast.
Fast.
That's not an emotional state. Fast is the way he really operates. Yeah. Es de Jamaica, where he's from. Ah, I could also say está en Jamaica, where he is right now. Right? But
Yeah.
in means location. So I need está en Jamaica. En
Mhm.
is a clue. You're going to need estar as location. Está emocionado. He's excited. I know that word looks like emotional, but it means excited. Está emocionado. He got excited a lot because he was winning a lot.
Mhm.
Right? Está entusiasmado. He's enthused. Okay. So, hopefully you got a chance to look over some of those examples and peruse that. Ser estar does legitimately take a lot of time to get used to. So don't feel like you're going to be perfect with it all the time.
Okay.
Not possible. Okay.
Yeah.
Baby steps. Get some of them right. You're doing okay. Yeah. Okay. I want to work on some of our La Casa vocabulary and some examples of maybe possible descriptions. I know I had sent you some of those photos, so we're going to take a look at them today. Do we have any question before we move on to the La Casa and some describing? No? Okay. Well, describing and identifying, because you're going to be telling what kind of rooms they are, right?
Sí.
Yeah. Okay. And here are the ones I have left for you to take a look at during the week. ¿Qué cuarto es? What room is that?
I said either la sala or cuarto familia, like a living room or family room.
Okay, sí, la sala, la sala. Sí, es la sala, es la sala. What else might we say about that picture?
A gran sofa gris, a large gray sofa.
Hay un gran. There's a great. Okay, or I could say un sofá grande. Un
Okay.
sofá grande means big. Un gran sofá. When I take gran and use it with sofá in front of sofá, it means a great. It changes the meaning to great. Okay, bien. Y sí, es gris.
Gris, es gris.
¿Y qué más?
Dos mesitas con lámparas.
Okay. Hay tres ventanas, ¿no? Hay
Sí.
hay
Radio
una
televisión.
hay una televisión.
Tiene una tele, ya. Tiene
Sí.
dos lámparas.
Hay dos lámparas, excelente, sí,
lámparas.
sí, claro. Y hay una chimenea.
Yeah, negro and con
Oh.
espejo with a mirror.
So, hay un espejo. There's a mirror up here. Sí, bien. Bueno, okay. Entonces, so, I might use I to say there are certain kinds of furniture in the room, right?
Okay.
I might say la sala tiene, the living room has this kind of furniture. So there are different possibilities. So let's take a look at some possibilities of how I might mix up different kind of verbs or give different kinds of descriptions, just possibilities, okay? Es la sala, what it is. La sala tiene un sofá grande. El sofá es gris. I'm identifying what color. Yeah, that's gray is not how you feel or where you are. So I cannot use estar. Es gris. Sometimes gray is how the way we feel, but you know what I mean. We can't really say that when we're describing a color. Hay dos mesas. There are a couple of tables. Mesitas, little side tables. Ita just makes the thing small. Yeah. Mesas, table. Mesita makes it like side table, right? A small one. Tiene un televisor. I could say hay una televisión. Televisor is TV set versus televisión, television. There's not a huge difference. Televisor is more a reference to like the gadget being an electronic thing. Yeah, like we say TV set. Okay, televisor. Tiene un televisor o tiene una televisión. Está en la pared. It's on the
Wall.
wall. Pared, wall. Está en la pared. Now I'm talking about where that TV set is located. It's on the wall. Okay. Hay dos. Oh, no hay tres ventanas. I was looking at the mirror and thinking that was a window. Hay dos ventanas en la sala. There are two windows. Hay dos lámparas. Están en las mesitas. There are two lamps there on the
Table.
tables, the side tables, right? Okay. And again, Ita just makes it small. Like when she talks about her doggy in that opening video, es una perrita. She's a little dog because she's not even a year old yet. Yeah. Ito or Ita makes the noun small in size,
Hey,
or
Marilyn?
young. Or young.
Marilyn,
Okay.
quick question, please.
Sí, dime.
Now, on the on the TV on the wall, I put down un televisor en la pared. So I was trying to say it in one sentence, like there's a TV on the wall. Is that accurate or okay?
Hay un televisor en la pared. There is a TV set
On the wall.
on the wall.
Okay.
Absolutely,
Mhm.
yes. There are different combinations that are possible, just like there would be in English. There are different combinations possible. Bien. Sí, exacto. Ok. Vamos a ver otra foto. We're going to look at another picture. ¿Qué es?
It's
It's
a
a
dormitorio.
Dormitorio.
Es un dormitorio. What's a different word we might use instead of dormitorio?
Habitación.
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 Es una habitación. Es un masculine dormitorio.
Yes.
Masculine.
Okay.
Or es una habitación. Sí. We could even say es un cuarto. It is a room. Cuarto is also okay for bedroom. Okay, that's what might we say about this?
Es muy grande.
Richard?
Una alfombra.
Okay, sí,
Right.
hay, there is. Okay.
Ah.
We're going to tweak that a little bit. Hay, right?
Hay.
No, hay, mejor. better.
Hay una alfombra.
Sí, alfombra, rug.
Right, yeah.
¿De qué color es la alfombra? What color is the rug?
Blanco.
Sí,
Blanco.
quizás blanco, quizás, they do use beige.
Yeah,
right?
beige,
Because there's
yeah.
there's no beige color really in there. Es de color café, you could say it's kind of brownish.
Café.
Mhm.
Piso de madera marrón. The wood floor.
Sí, un piso, a floor de madera of wood, marrón, sí. Un piso de madera. When we talk about what material an item is made out of,
Okay.
whereas in English we can say wooden floor, you have to say a floor of wood. Es un piso de madera, a wooden floor. If I want to say ceramic cup, es una taza cup. Es una taza de cerámica. Yeah. I can't use ceramic like an adjective as I do in English. when I talk about materials, it has to be una taza de cerámica, un piso o flor de madera. Bien. Okay. ¿Qué más? What else might we say about this?
How about,
I-
cien visitores de dos habitaciones? It's like 2 bedroom dresses, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Like one, two.
Tiene, does it have? And notice we have to say, does it have? I can
Okay.
just ask the question in Spanish. Tiene. Same thing. Tiene, does it have? Tiene una cama grande o una cama pequeña? ¿Grande o
grande.
pequeña?
Hay una cama grande.
Grande,
Yeah.
sí. Bien.
Y-
¿Hay ventanas en la habitación? ¿Hay ventanas?
Sí, tiene muchas ventanas.
Hay
Tres
muchas
ventanas.
ventanas. Sí, hay mucha luz. There's a lot of light. Hay mucha luz. Okay. Vamos a ver. Let's take a look at some ideas. Algunas ideas. Okay, sí. Es un dormitorio. Es una habitación. Tiene una cama grande. Es una cama de madera. It's a wooden bed. Oh, yeah. Wooden, de madera, of wood. Now we have to use it with materials, okay? Material is not the same thing as like big or little or soft or hard or, any of the Goldilocks descriptions for a bed. Tiene una mesita con una lámpara. Hay una cómoda. Cómoda is a dresser. ¿Sí?
Okay.
Hay una cómoda con un espejo with a
Mirror.
mirror. Sí. Hay 3 ventanas con cortinas. Cortinas para
Oh,
cubrir
curtains.
la
Oh.
ventana a curtains. Hay 3 ventanas con cortinas with curtains. Con means with. Hay una alfombra en el suelo, ¿sí? You might use suelo for floor. You might use piso for floor, okay? La alfombra está en el suelo, está en el piso. Piso and suelo are equivalents for floor.
I
Okay.
have a question.
Sí, dime.
So in the first sentence, like I would say, which is incorrect, I would say es el dormitorio, but it's un.
Well, okay.
So-
Yeah, I did the same thing.
You're fine. Es el dormitorio. It's the bedroom. That's fine. That's fine.
Oh, okay.
Un dormitorio just says a bedroom.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Right. Okay.
Right. I might in English say it's the bedroom. It's a bedroom. Yeah. No importa. That doesn't matter a whole lot.
Okay, I got it.
Not a biggie. Not a biggie. Okay. A ver. Entonces. La siguiente. The next one. Y ¿qué es esto?
Es una cocina.
La
Es una
Cocina.
cocina.
Yes.
Cocina.
Esta
Sí.
cocina.
Oh, cocina es italiano. Cocina.
Cocina.
Sí, cocina.
Cocina.
We hear a lot of, I hear a lot of cooking programs where they talk about cucina, and that's Italian. So you can hear how close that is, but cocina, se pronuncia cocina, cocina. Es una cocina. ¿Qué podemos decir? What can we say about this kitchen?
So I tried to say something about the steel appliances. So I have cuenta con electrodomésticos de acero.
De acero, steel. Like
Steel.
stainless steel. Sí. Sí. Es como el color o el material. Sí.
Okay.
Appliances. There's an interesting word for appliances. I'm going to try to see if I can plug it in here. The very interesting word for appliances is electrodomésticos.
Yeah.
I just bumped me out of my keyboard, perdón.
Domestico.
Electrodomésticos.
Domesticos, okay.
Ah,
I didn't pronounce it right.
there, yeah, a very general word, you know, if you don't want to specify between dishwasher and stove and fridge, if you just want to talk about all the electrical stuff, plugins in your house, electrodomésticos, which is a great word. Domestic electric things. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Son de acero. They are steel colored. Sí. Okay. ¿Qué más? What else might we say about this?
Esta cocina es blanco y anaranjado.
Oh,
I was trying to-
kind of orange. Yeah.
Orange and
sí,
white.
Depends on how you see it on your screen. Yeah, some of these colors might be a little bit.
Oh, is this
Squidgy.
supposed to be brown? Is it supposed to be
Sí,
brown? Wood.
Sí,
Okay.
sí, los gabinetes son de madera, sí, son marrones, those are kind of brownish more. Bueno, ¿qué más? ¿Qué más? ¿Qué tiene? Oh, perdón.
Alguras frutas en el mostrador.
Hay. Okay, we want to get you used to pronouncing that verb as hay. Bien, bien, mejor, much better. Hay frutas en el mostrador. There's fruit on the counter. Eso sí, es. Bueno.
¿Tienen puerta con ventana?
Sí, bien, sí. Hay una ventana aquí, hay otra ventana, una segunda ventana en la puerta. Sí, bien.
Un microondas.
Hay un microondas. There's a microwave. Hay microondas. Microwave. Onda is a wave. Like literally a wave in the ocean. Yeah. So microondas is microwave. Bien. Okay. Vamos a ver. Let's take a look. La cocina no tiene mesa. These are just some ideas to give you an idea, right? Of what might be possible. You know, there's no one right way to express this, but here are some ideas. La cocina no tiene mesa. It doesn't have a table. And notice when we make an idea negative, we always put the word no in front of the verb, right? So it'd be no tiene, no es, no hay, no está, right? No, if you make it negative, has to go in front of the verb. Tiene una nevera. Nevera.
Refrigerator.
Sí, sí. La nevera es para guardar, es for keeping, es para guardar la carne, la fruta, la leche, los vegetales, sí. Okay. Tiene una estufa. It has a stove. Sí, estufa es stove.
Okay.
Horno, and usually these are combined, aren't they? Tiene un horno. Horno. Sí, no se pronuncia la H, no es horno, no, es horno. Tiene un horno, tiene una puerta. Tiene gabinetes. Gabinetes. Y tiene lavaplatos. Lavaplatos.
Dishwasher. Dishwasher. Oh my gosh.
Lavar is to wash.
Wash place.
El lavaplatos, and oddly, this ends in an S, even though it's only one thing. So you would think lavaplatos is like a bunch of things, but no, it's called lavaplatos because what it does is washes lava platos. dishes, because you never wash just one dish in a dishwasher, yeah? So,
That's cute.
el lavaplatos, that does end in an S. El lavaplatos. El lavaplatos es un electrodoméstico.
Mhm.
Lavaplatos is an
An
appliance.
appliance.
Appliance, yeah.
El lavaplatos es un electrodoméstico. Ok, entonces, el horno, el microondas, la nevera y el lavaplatos son
Son,
electrodomésticos.
Mm.
sí.
Son
Sí.
electrodomésticos. Bien.
Bien.
No sé, ¿es una cocina grande o una cocina muy pequeña?
Mm.
Muy pequeña.
Muy
Más
pequeña.
Pequeña,
Muy
ok.
pequeña.
Vale, sí. Bueno, y tiene muchos colores, sí. Hay gabinetes blancos, hay gabinetes de madera, hay
Ujú.
varios colores. Ok, la siguiente, next one.
Mm.
¿Qué es? What is this?
El
Ah,
comedor. El comedor.
Es el comedor. You are
Es
going
el
to learn
comedor.
in a couple of lessons that comer means to eat.
Oh, yeah,
When I
yeah.
put door on the end of something, it makes it like a place or a person who is related to that action in the main part of the word, right? Comer means eating. So comedor is dining room.
Place to eat, yeah.
Okay. ¿Cómo se describe? How might we describe this room?
Una mesa de comedor y 8 sillas y mantel azul.
Okay, sí, un mantel azul, a blue tablecloth.
Tablecloth. Yeah.
Mantel es sí, tablecloth, sí.
Okay.
Es una mesa grande, ¿no? Es una mesa grande. Okay. ¿Qué más? What other things might we say about this room?
No es moderna.
No es moderno. Sí.
Not
No es muy
modern.
moderno. It's not like super modern. That's not a super modern style, is it? No es muy moderno. Okay. Bien.
El comedor es precioso.
Precioso. It's cute.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah, yeah.
Precioso. Precious, but we would probably say cute as a translation for that.
Okay.
Sí. Es precioso. Sí.
Did you say hay 8 sillas diferentes?
Hay 8 sillas diferentes. There are 8 chairs, but they are
Different.
different.
yeah.
And we need diferentes. And I heard your ass at the end of that to talk about sillas. Hay 8 sillas diferentes. O tiene, it has 8 sillas diferentes. Sí, exacto. Muy bien. Bueno, ¿qué más?
Tiene un candelabro.
Candelabro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Candelabro. Candelabro.
Okay. Hay una alfombra en el suelo, en el piso. Hay una alfombra.
¿Qué es alfombra?
Alfombra es carpet, rug.
Oh, okay.
Sí, ¿hay una alfombra o no?
No.
No,
No.
no hay
No.
una, no hay
No.
alfombra.
Piso de madera.
Sí, es un suelo de madera. It's a wooden floor. Exacto. Tiene una chimenea. Bien,
Ujú.
sí, tiene una chimenea. Bien, ok. Bueno, vamos a ver. Let's look at some possibilities. Es un comedor o es el comedor. Tiene una mesa. ¿Cuántas sillas? Sí, hay 8 sillas. Somehow aquí, ok. Bien. Tiene 2 ventanas. Sí, ventanas.
Windows.
Windows.
Yeah.
Hay un espejo. There's a
Mirror.
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 Oh,
On the wall.
Está en la pared. That is on the wall, because that's a location for that mirror. So these are just ideas of how you might talk about la casa, the house, and the rooms in the house, and the things in the room. They're just some examples. Bien, okay. Creo que es el último. Sí, that's our last picture for that. Okay, a ver. So that chapter 5 is actually chock full of lots of stuff because it has the vocabulary of la casa. It has furniture, right? And it starts to talk about adjectives. And this whole adjective thing is a big deal because it is one way that Spanish differs quite drastically from English. Okay. In English, if I say it's a black mouse, yeah, es un ratón negro. It's a mouse black. And we would say a black mouse, but you know, you're going to hear it as un ratón negro. So here's one difference. Adjectives, this is going to sound like a redundancy. Adjectives that are truly descriptive. Let me phrase that. What's the job of an adjective? To describe. Well, that's redundant. Okay. Adjectives that paint a picture in your brain. Adjectives that paint a picture in your brain, they will come after the noun. So literally they will say the car fast, the car red, the car little. Yeah, that's the word orders. That's an odd thing for those of us who grew up with English. It's an odd thing for us to get used to. The adjectives generally follow. So when I say, an adjective that paints a picture in your head, because some adjectives don't paint a picture in your head. Some adjectives tell you things like, how many? If I just say many cars, a word like many, which just describes quantity, will come in front of the noun. Muchos carros, many cars. Pocos carros, a few cars. Many and few. Words like that don't really like paint a picture in your head. They just tell you a quantity. They'll come in front. But truly descriptive, snapshot creating adjectives, those follow. And those adjectives also have to match up in form with the noun they talk about. And that's the other thing that is very, very hard for English speakers to get used to, because we don't do that with our adjectives. We just have one adjective form, but their adjective has to look at the noun and say, oh, masculine or feminine, onesie or more than one, plural. And it has to adapt to the form. Okay. We're going to take a quick look at some of that. We're going to practice that a lot. You're going to see lots of adjectives. Some will be words you got accustomed to from, or you got accustomed to during a homework process. Some will be new, so just go with the flow. We'll define anything that you need. Vamos a ver, we're going to take a look at this here, los colores, because you watched that great video. And if you did not watch this video, go back and watch it, because she does an excellent job of showing how adjectives change their forms if they end in a consonant, end in an E, end in a consonant, end in a consonant, versus these words like azul, verde, gris, marrón will change their forms in a different way than the adjectives that end in O, right? Right? The adjectives that end in O go O, or they might flip the O for an A to say it's feminine. We add an S on just to make it plural, right? So, anaranjado, Amarillo, rojo, blanco, negro, morado, rosado. Those have a feminine form and plural forms, right?
Mhm.
But azul is always azul, unless I make it plural, azules, right?
Azules. Mhm.
Verde is always verde, unless I make it plural,
Verdes.
verdes. Marron is always marron, unless I make it marrones, right? Notice if you use the other word for brown, which they like in Mexico, which is café,
Café.
it would just, café ends in an e, not an o. So it'll do what verde does, cafés. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Gris only goes to grises. So the
Grises.
last letter that we use to spell that description word determines, do I need to put it into a feminine form or not, and then you have to look at the plural. Okay, so let's take a gander at these. And notice you've got some asterisks here. And the asterisks are for, in a number of countries, you may not hear anaranjado. You may just hear naranja. And naranja always stays naranja. This is because regionally different countries use different vocabulary. If people use the word rosa instead of rosado, it always stays rosa. So that's why you have these little asterisks here with those
Mhm.
color words, okay? Bien. Let's take a look at some applications. We have to look at the thing they are describing and mold the description word, make it match up with the thing it's describing. If I talk about la bandera de Francia, the flag of France, I'm not talking about France, I'm talking about the flag,
Flag.
right? La bandera is a feminine word, so I need all feminine words to talk about the colors in that flag.
Right.
Azul, ooh, we're missing two colors.
Roa.
Blanca.
Blanca. And these
Roja.
And roja.
Roja.
y roja.
Roja.
La bandera de
Blanca
Francia
y roja.
es azul, blanca y roja.
Roja.
Okay, and they're going with a lot of European things here. So some of us may be challenged on knowing what some of these flags are. Okay,
Exactly.
la bandera de Alemania, Germany's flag, es negra,
Roja.
Roja. And
Amarilla. Amarilla.
okay,
Amarilla.
sí, amarilla, sí, negra,
Amarilla.
roja y amarilla. Bien, okay. La bandera de Estados Unidos, and notice we're going to do a real flip here. You're thinking, oh, bandera. No, we're not describing bandera. We're describing estrellas,
Estrellas.
stars.
Stars. Yeah.
Tiene, it has.
Oh, yeah.
Tiene estrellas
Blancas.
Blanca.
blancas.
Blancas.
Blancas. We
Mhm.
need a feminine and a plural
Feminine,
because
plural.
Plural.
we're not really describing the flag. The flag is not all white. Oh, but the stars is what we're describing. Tiene, it has estrellas blancas.
Sí.
Okay. Muy obvio. This is a very obvious one. Los tomates son
Rojas.
Rojos.
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 Rojos. Rojos. Okay. Homer Simpson es
That's pretty funny.
Amarillo.
amarillo. Amarillo. And
Haven't
this is
seen it.
interesting because the person that I grabbed this worksheet from is in Europe, and Europeans all know the Simpsons. Oh my God.
It's
Okay.
so cute. Yeah.
El pelo de Marge Simpson. Pelo means hair. So notice now, we're not describing Marge.
Right.
We're describing her hair.
Hair.
So we have to look at that word pelo. El pelo de Marge Simpson es
Azul.
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 She's got blue hair. I know. El pelo de Marge Simpson es azul. And a lot of us don't have, you know, the Smurfs are not a thing here so much in the US,
Right.
but that way they call them in Spain is los pitufos. Los pitufos son, they're also blue, so son.
Yeah, azules.
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 Azules. Why do you take that azules? ¿Por qué es
Azules.
azules?
It's plural.
Plural.
Plural. Smurfs,
Plural.
pitufos is more than one. So
Right. it's song, yeah.
azules. We
Azules.
take azul, we slap an es on the end because azul, it doesn't matter if it's masculine or feminine, right? It's always azul.
Right.
I just make it plural. Azules. Okay. Ooh, el chocolate. We're going to talk about brown or white colored chocolate. El chocolate es
white. Okay.
es
Marron.
Marron.
marrón
Or
or
blanco.
Blanco.
blanco. Es
Okay.
marrón o blanco.
Blanco.
Marrón o blanco. It's a brown
Okay.
color or a white color, depending on the
Mhm.
kind of chocolate. Okay,
Hmm.
cucumber. Los pepinos son
Verdes.
Verdes.
verdes. Exacto, son verdes. Okay. El carbón, charcoal. El carbón es
Negro.
Negro.
negro. Bien.
Negro.
Bueno, la leche es
Blanca.
Blanco.
Blanca.
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 Blanca, femenino,
Blanca.
sí. La sangre, blood. La sangre es
Roja.
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 Ah,
Roja. Okay. So these little rules that pertain to all these colors, when I need to ditch an O at the end and substitute it with an A, whether to make it singular, plural, all these rules, guidelines you followed with los colores, they pertain to all the different kinds of adjectives. So even when we step out of the realm of colores, colors, we still we use those same kind of guidelines to morph or change the forms of adjectives. So when we start to use words like big, small, wide, narrow, cute, ugly, right? Any descriptive word, even if it's not a color word, we're going to have to do the same thing. We're going to take a look at these together. And I'm kind of, you see, okay, vale, bien. I need to make this a little bigger. Un poquito más grande. Let's see if we can figure out what we would do with these. Okay. ¿Cuál es la forma correcta? What's the correct form? La forma correcta. What's the correct form? Del adjetivo. What's the correct form of the adjective? Que se usan en los ejemplos. Perdón, que se usan en los ejemplos that are used in the examples. If I want to say the hotels are old,
Mhm.
okay, I need to look at that word viejo, old.
Viejo.
Viejos.
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 Mhm.
Viejos, okay? Viejos. I can't just say viejo. Viejos, because hoteles is more than one, right?
Plural.
Mhm.
But viejo, it's already in the masculine, or all
In
these
masculine,
are masculine
yeah.
like by default. But yeah, we have to figure out what form we need there.
Okay.
Los hoteles son viejos. Bien, bien, bien. Okay. And actually, I'm going to put it next to it just to make that a little bit easier to read. Okay.
Mhm.
Hermoso means beautiful.
Oh.
How would I say the
So-
woman
Is that what that
beautiful?
means?
Mhm.
Hermosa.
Hermosa?
Hermosa.
Hermosa.
And we are kind of in a transient way familiar with this word hermoso. Now, have you ever heard of a place in California, Hermosa Beach?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah. Hermosa, hermosa, beautiful. Well, La Playa Hermosa, beautiful beach. Yeah, Hermosa Beach. Okay. La mujer es hermosa. The woman is beautiful. Okay. The plants are green. Las plantas son
Son
Verdes.
verdes.
Verde.
verdes.
Verdes.
Las
Verdes.
plantas son verdes.
Verde.
But I do need verdes. La luz, the light is red.
Roja.
Rojas.
Would it be rojas or roja? Which way?
Roja.
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 Oh, yeah,
Luz,
roja.
just one, yeah?
Yeah.
La luz es roja. The light is red. You know, you're sitting at the traffic light. La luz
Oh, yeah.
es roja. Bien. Okay. Los carros son
Amarillos.
amarillos. Okay. Amarillos. Los carros son amarillos. Bien. Frágil is a cognate. It sounds a little bit like our word fragile. That's what it means.
Mm.
Las plantas, but it ends in a l, not an o. So I use the same for feminine and masculine. I do need to make this one plural. Las plantas son
Fragiles.
frágiles.
Frágiles.
And we keep that
Frágiles.
little accent mark. Frágiles. Las
Frágiles.
plantas son frágiles. Oh, these are, yeah, fragile
Frágiles.
plants. Okay. Los libros son
Azules.
azules. Bien.
Azules.
Yeah, azul stays the same. We just make it plural. Las ventanas son pequeños, small.
Pequeñas.
Pequeña. And we need it plural too,
Yeah,
right?
pequeñas.
Pequeñas.
Las ventanas son pequeñas.
The windows are small.
Okay, yeah, the windows are small. Largo looks like large. This is a fooler. It does not mean large. Grande is large. Okay.
Mhm.
Largo means long.
Long.
Long. La
Yeah.
conversación es
Largas.
Larga.
larga. It's a long
Larga.
Oh,
conversation.
larga. Okay, singular.
La,
Oh,
larga.
who ever heard of Key Largo?
Yeah.
Ugh,
Yeah.
Florida. Key is another word for what we would, K, it's a word for an island used in the Caribbean. Yeah, Key Largo, it means it's a long shaped island.
Mhm.
mhm.
Key Largo. Okay, but larga, long, long. Yeah, think of elastic. Okay, la conversación es larga. Okay. Oh, the TV is brand new. The television is new. La
Nueva?
televisión.
Nueva.
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 Nueva. And this word nuevo means new. Okay. Nuevo means new. And make sure that you keep this word nuevo, or its feminine form nueva, separate from the word nueve. Nueve is
Oh, right.
this many. Yeah.
I see. Nueva.
Okay. But nueva or nuevo, new, completely different word. The animals are brown. Los animales son
Marrones.
Marrones.
marrones. And
Marrones.
there, that one happens to drop the accent mark. We're not going to get into why today. It's not a big deal. For speech, marron, marrones. There you go. Okay. Difícil means difficult or hard.
Mhm.
Not easy, the opposite of easy. Los problemas son
Difíciles.
difíciles.
Difícil.
Yeah, difícil doesn't end in an O.
Right.
I do need to make it plural. I slap on an ES to make it plural. Los problemas, and notice it's not las problemas. Problema is one of those trick words. It's masculine, even though it ends in an A. Los problemas son difíciles. Okay. Oh, the woman is strong. La mujer es
Puerta.
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 fuerte. Is it fuerte or fuerte? Fuerte or fuerte?
Puerta.
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 Feminine.
It's fuerte.
Oh.
Remember, fuerte is just like verde. They both, well, they don't mean the same thing, but the formation is the same. It ends in an E. right? So just like
Eh.
verde does not make a feminine,
Okay.
fuerte does not make a feminine form. It
Okay.
stays fuerte, right? Adjectives that end in e. Why is it doing that? Adjectives that end in e do not flip to a separate feminine form. It's the same thing for feminine, same thing for masculine. Fuerte. The only change I would make is if I had to make it plural. If I said las mujeres son fuertes, then I need a plural, right? And I just slap on an S. Okay. So, bien. Okay. Joven means young. Young. So, if I talk about the girls being young, joven ends in an N. I don't get a separate masculine and feminine. I just make it plural. Las muchachas son
Jóvenes.
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 And there I do add an
Jóvenes.
accent mark. Don't worry about the accent mark, but just know kind of mentally. But you notice you all pronounced it right. Jóvenes. Jóvenes. Yeah. you
Openness.
punch the jo part of jóvenes. Las mujeres son jóvenes. Again, it ends in an N, so I don't get a separate feminine and masculine. Joven is both masculine and feminine, but I do need a plural, ES on the end. Okay. Negro ends in an O. Los gatos son
Negros.
Negros.
negros. Okay. Vale. Inteligente. Inteligente ends in an E, not an O. And I'm talking about los hombres, more than one.
Inteligentes.
Inteligentes. Sí, plural.
Inteligentes.
I do need a plural, but easy peasy. I just slap an S on the end. Inteligentes. Okay. Las chicas están. Oh, and notice, I'm not saying they are like depressed, always sad people. They feel sad. Oh, how you feel or where you are, always use the verb
Estar.
estar. To say the girls are sad. They feel that way. Triste does not end in O. It ends in an E. So same for feminine, same for masculine, but
Tristes.
tristes. Las
Tristes.
chicas están tristes. Las chicas están tristes. Okay, las chicas están tristes. Bien. Okay. Now, slim. That's not how she feels. It's how she looks. Okay. Delgado means thin, slender. La mujer es
Delgada.
Delgada.
delgada. Delgado is an O. I do need a separate feminine form for adjectives that end in O, right? So it needs to become la mujer es delgada. La mujer es delgada. I'm going to give you a little clue. You might hear people say, ooh, la mujer está delgada. You might. But that would be somebody, they knew that woman ahead of time. Saying la mujer está delgada changes the meaning to she looks thin. You would have to
She
know
is thin.
beforehand she maybe didn't.
Oh.
Yeah. Normally, you just look at any old Joe Schmo on the street, right? It's how they just look, right? It's flat out how that looks. So usually la mujer es delgada. She is thin. That's the way she looks. If somebody flips that to está, they're changing it to, ooh, she looks different somehow. She looks thinner. Just so you know, that might happen. Okay. The prices are barato means inexpensive, cheap. Cheap, not like cheap in quality. Cheap and not pricey. Los precios son
Barato.
Baratos.
baratos. We need to
Baratos.
make this, we already have a masculine. Precio is masculine, but it's more than one precios. Los precios son baratos. Los
Baratos.
precios son baratos. The prices are Bargain basement. Baratos, cheap. Okay. Now,
Cheap.
rico means rich. If we're talking about how much money, it also can mean tasty. And often when we describe food as, wow, this tastes great, we use estar. La comida está
Rica?
Rica.
rica.
Yeah.
Rica.
Yeah. Using estar injects the idea of taste.
Okay.
It injects the idea of taste. Está rica means it's on the plate in front of you and you're just about to take a bite and you can smell how great it smells and how great, and you can see how good it looks, right? When people could say la comida es rica, it is delicious, meaning in general it is delicious. But when they really mean, ooh, this tastes great, they might put in the word está instead of es for the verb. Está rica, but rica, feminine, because comida is feminine. Okay, and I've got one caveat here. We've got one very odd example. Here's an asterisk, and I just want you to know. We have to say el agua, because if I were to say el agua, it would be two stressed A sounds next to each other. And that in Spanish is a no-go, okay? Despite the fact, even though it looks like el agua means that word is masculine, it is not. Agua is a feminine word. We just have to put el next to the word agua. There are only a handful of words that do this, but agua is, so you don't need to like memorize, well, when do I do this? Just know it's el agua, but that remains a feminine word. I know, it's weird, but that's the way that works. So if I want to say the water is cold a changeable condition for water?
See?
It is.
See?
Yeah.
It's super changeable. Water is liquid. I can't change that, right? But, well, I could, but it would take kind of a lot of effort to change that, right? So if I want to say the water is cold, keep in mind, agua really is a feminine word. So, el agua está
Fria?
Fria.
fría.
Yeah.
El agua está fría. The water is cold. Okay. Maybe you want to complain that you haven't got any hot water in your hotel room. Yeah. El agua está fría en el baño. Yeah. And you need water for a hot shower. You need hot water for a hot bath, right? El agua está fría. Or you're talking about the temperature of the water at the beach.
Right.
Ooh, and it's too cold to get in. Está fría. Wow, it's cold. Because that's a changeable thing. Maybe the water will warm up by the time you get to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, right? Okay, you know what that means. Okay, caro means expensive. It's the opposite of this word barato. It's the opposite. Caro is expensive. Los vinos, the wines. Los vinos
Son caros.
caros. Bien. Los vinos son caros. The wines are expensive. Okay. Bien. Sincero is kind of a cognate. It means sincere. It also means honest. Well, a sincere person is honest, yeah. And oh darn, I gave away. See, this is the hardest thing. You know what? My fingers just want to type it, and it's so hard for me to put it into the.
Gracias. Yeah.
Yeah, gracias. Los hombres son
Sinceros.
sinceros. Okay. Yeah. It's very hard for me to put it in a generic form. It's hard. My brain doesn't want to do it. Oh, agradable means literally agreeable, pleasant,
Oh.
kind, nice. Okay. La mujer es
Agradable.
Agradable. Oh, it doesn't
Agradable.
change.
Oh,
Why
it
does it
doesn't
not
change.
change?
Oh, because
Hey,
it's a eh.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Like fuerte, like verde. When it ends in an e, it's not an o.
Yeah.
It means the feminine is the same as the masculine form. Agradable. Okay. Agradable, agreeable, pleasant, easy to get along with. Agradable. Okay. Now
oh, they're
I'm
sick.
not going to say they are hypochondriacs who are always, or invalids. They're always sick. They feel that way. So I need están. Manuel y Juan son, or están, perdón. Manuel y Juan están
Enfermos?
Enfermos.
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 Enfermos is
Oh.
sick.
Sick.
I want you to notice something. It would be possible to say, es posible decir, perdón. Manuel y Juan
Mhm.
son enfermos.
Ah.
But then I'm more saying they are sickly. Maybe they are invalid. They are chronically,
Ah.
they're always
Mm.
not well. Okay. Notice that. So this is a very specific thing with son.
Mhm.
This would not be the usual conversation, the way a conversation would turn. We don't every single day talk about people who are chronically ill, right? When you talk about the guy next door, your kids, your grandkids, we're not usually using this idea. So that's a very specific thing. Normally, we're talking about how the average Joe Schmo is on that day, right? So normally with enfermos, you could use it with ser, but then it's got a very specific meaning, chronic illness. And that's not the usual conversational thing, right? Normally it's how they are feeling that day. And therefore we need to start how you feel or where you are. Always use the verb estar. So, están enfermos, they are sick. Bien. Okay. That gives you a little additional or a lot of additional practice with adjectives, right? See? Bien.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to pause now to ask if you've got any questions. ¿Hay alguna pregunta? Is there any kind of question? No?
So many.
Okay. Now, getting used to that, and I noticed when we practiced, taking that little leap to use fuerte to talk about a woman. Yeah, la mujer es fuerte was a little bit tougher, right? Than saying la mujer es hermosa. It was a tougher leap. So be aware of that. What I'm going to give you to work on for the week will be a follow-up to this. And the follow-up will be this page. And we're going to go through what some of the vocabulary, some of these words you'll know what they are, some of them you don't. So we're just going to define them. And by the way, if you need to define a word, you can go to an online dictionary that is, if you Google wordreference.com, it's an online dictionary. So if you forget what some of these are, you can look that up. Okay, so you're going to be using, the word importante. You can figure out what that means. Simpático, which means nice. Simpático is a little less bland in Spanish than it is in English. Nice in English has become, just over the years, kind of a bland compliment. But in Spanish, it is a wonderful compliment. Simpático. If somebody describes you as simpático, They're saying you're a good person. You're a great guy. Nice. Okay. Azul, you know, azul, you know. Oh, difícil, difficult.
Mhm.
Italiano,
Italian.
Italian. Delicioso,
Delicious.
delicious. Okay. Perezoso means lazy. Ah, malo, bad. Bueno, good. Ooh, Alemán, that one is an outlier. That's a trick question. Number 11 is a trick question. I'm gonna
Huh.
talk a little bit about the trick
Alemán.
question today. Let's see, because we have time for it. Alemán means German, and notice they do not capitalize nationalities.
Right.
We capitalize countries in Spanish, but not nationalities. So Alemán, German. Rubio, blonde. Imposible. You can guess. Fácil. Oh, I gave it to you. Gris, you know. Español, Spanish.
Spanish.
Rico.
Right.
Yeah. Enorme.
Big.
Enormous, yeah. Verde, verde. Rojo. Number 20 is also a trick question because you have to pay attention to what we are describing as rojo and what we are describing as atlético. Okay, so I'm going to warn you ahead of time. 20 is a trick question, and I'm going to warn you ahead of time that 11 is kind of a trick question. We're going to talk about that. This one trick question in number 11 right now. Ahorita. We're going to add this as kind of an addendum. Let's add on. Ooh, and I need to move my slide way down. Okay. Vamos a ver. And I need to get rid of this entirely. Let's ditch this, and we're just gonna get a text in here. What I want to show you is that we have that nice little rule that adjectives that end in o need both a masculine and a feminine form, right? And then you think about plural, right? Add s. Okay. Adjectives that don't end in o, if they end in e, they end in ele, end in anything else, maybe an n like that. Masculine and feminine, get the same form. Okay. You do have to think about plural, right? And the plural is either just an s if it ends in an e, because that's still a vowel, the e, or it might be es.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, okay. There is one kind of big, glaring, and unusual exception to this rule, and we're going to talk about this now so that you maybe know what to do with something called national. What'd I do? Amazon? No, we don't want that. Oddly, because I have a touchpad. Yeah, touch that. Okay. Oddly, when we talk about nationalities, some nationalities fall into kind of this other category. Okay, but that might be kind of a common description. So let's look at some of these. These are other categories and they kind of break the rules. Okay, a lot of nationalities just end in O and they're no big deal. So let's look at the ones that end in O, like Italiano, like Mexicano, like peruano, like chileno, like argentino. Okay, those all end in O. Those do what you think they should do, right? Italiano might be italiana, right? Mexicano might be mexicana. Peruano might be peruana. Chileno might be chilena. Argentino might become Argentina. Okay,
Mhm.
yeah. So these nationalities that end in O, they do what you think they should do. But there are a decent number of nationalities that do not end in O. And they kind of become this, ooh, I don't know, what do we call it? Twilight Zone? Oddballs. Yeah, I don't know, right? Yeah. Ones that don't end in O. They do, you would think, well, wait, if they don't end in O, masculine and feminine get the same form, yeah?
Yeah.
But they say, no, you can't do that because these are nationalities.
Nationalities.
They're
Huh.
special. They talk about you. No, we're going to make these different. Okay. So what are these words? These are words like Inglés.
Yes.
They're words like Francés. These are special nationalities. They are words like Alemán.
German.
Yeah, German. Yeah. These do get a feminine form. And I'm going to be really specific. Ooh, even one of the most important ones, you know, Espanol, which is not Mexican, but Spanish. And I want you to notice these are nationalities that end in a consonant.
Mhm.
Okay. So look at what happens here. We get Inglesa. We get
This.
Francesa. We get Alemana. Oh, Alemana. We get Española. Because they're special. Okay. And for feminine plural, you'll say, well, I can do this. It's slap on an S, right? Francesas, alemanas, españolas. I got this. I'm so proud of myself, but watch out. An oddball thing happens when it gets to masculine plural with these kind of nationalities. For Inglés, masculine, more than one, it becomes Ingleses, not OS, but ES. Franceses. It becomes Alemanes. It becomes Españoles. Okay, so some nationalities are what we would call very oddball, the ones that don't end in O. You kind of have to hang loose with it a little bit, but these are like super common ones that don't end in O, right? Inglés, francés, alemán, español. I could throw Portuguese in there because Portuguese does the same thing. But watch out, because I want to give a salute to our friends from Canada, because we live next door. We should know this because they're our neighbors. Canadiense is Canadian. Okay, there's our word for Canadiense, Canadian. Canadiense. Oh, it's kind of like saying U.S. citizen, which, yeah, now we say American, but Latin Americans don't like Americano because we're all Americanos. Okay, so estadounidense. These se kind of words, these canadiense or estadounidense, these stay the same for masculine, feminine. They do. Okay. Because I don't know. They're just because they're say words. They're say words. They're not n. They're not l. They're not an S. Yeah, they're a say. Yeah. And canadiense will always be canadiense. Estadounidense is always estadounidense, no matter if it's masculine or feminine. Okay. And we just make them plural. So canadienses. Yeah. Or estadounidenses. Okay, so when you get into the nationality category, there are oddball, weird, strange things that sometimes happen. Okay, but the vast majority, the very big vast majority of descriptive words, don't worry about those special things. And you're going to get the link to this whole slide set. So let's take a look at some words you had from your chapter. Yeah. Your chapter had a bunch of vocabulary. We're going to take a look. And we're looking at some opposite ideas. And they're trying to focus in your book on words that tourists may need in a typical day. Might be more important for tourists. Okay. Opposite ideas with adjectives. And here's a caro. Caro no es carro. Carro is what those two pictures are, cars. But caro.
Car.
Expensive.
Expensive.
Ok, entonces, en una idea típica, un Ferrari es caro.
Expensive.
A Ferrari is
Expensive.
Expensive.
expensive. Un Kia es barato.
Cheap.
Oh.
A Kia
Inexpensive.
Yeah, inexpensive.
Yeah, not cheap.
Okay, maybe your idea really is cheap. But yeah.
Hey, it's got a 100,000-mile warranty. So.
Un Kia. Un mecánico. Una vez, un mecánico me dijo, los Kias son baratos. Oh, those Kias, they are cheap. Okay, and he did not mean.
Un Kia es practical.
Ah.
Un caro
es-
practical.
Un Kia es barato. We could have this idea. Es un carro muy práctico. It's a very practical car. I might say, es caro. Es un carro de lujo. It's a
Luxury.
Luxurious.
Yeah.
Or I might say, es un carro deportivo. Let's see if you can guess what deportivo means. Es un carro deportivo.
Fast.
Ford.
Oh,
No.
sporty?
Sports car.
Sports car.
Okay.
Es un carro deportivo. It's a sports car. Es un carro deportivo. Un Kia, sí, es un carro muy práctico. It's a very
Sí,
practical car.
Practical.
sí.
Bien. Ok. Un edificio alto. Alto.
Tall.
Tall. High.
Oh, yeah.
Tienes-
Alto.
Edificio. Sí.
Sí. Un
What's-
edificio alto, a tall, and this is not like our alto, where like it's expressing the tone of someone's voice. It's not that, yeah. You may also see the word alto used on a traffic
Stop
sign,
sign.
and
Stop
then it
sign.
means Yeah,
So,
it
Stop.
means something different if you see it on a red and white traffic sign.
Yeah.
You might see alto used as stop. You might. Okay. But un edificio alto, a tall building. Un
Building.
edificio bajo, a
short.
Small.
short building.
Short.
Yeah. And bajo won't mean small. Bajo means short in
Short.
height. Yeah. Not short in length, but short in height. Okay. So I might say, Danny DeVito es muy bajo.
Sí.
Sí. Danny DeVito es muy bajo. Un edificio alto, sí. LeBron James
Yeah,
es
LeBron
muy
James,
alto. Sí. Alto can be used for people or things. Bajo can be used for people or things. Okay. Bien. Okay. Un nuevo zapato.
Shoes.
Brand new shoe.
Shoes.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Oh. But if I look at these beat up old things,
Mhm.
son zapatos
Viejo.
Shoe.
viejos. Wow. Son zapatos viejos. I got more than one of them. Son zapatos viejos. Wow, those are old. Okay. Now I'm not talking about tall and short. I'm talking about short and long. Oh, because when you're a tourist, sometimes you need a pair of clothes like shorts or shirts that have sleeves or pant legs. Yeah, so the reason they gave you these words in your chapter book is that people buy clothing that has sleeves or pant legs. Los son pantalones cortos. They are
Short.
Short.
shorts. They're short pants, literally. Son pantalones cortos. Okay. Son pantalones largos. They are
Long.
Long.
long-legged pants, right? Largos does not mean a big size. Cuidado, careful. This is a false cognate. Largo looks like our English word large. Largo does not mean large. It means long in length. Okay. So think Key Largo. It's a long-shaped island. Okay. Son pantalones largos. Son pantalones largos. They are long pants. Yeah. Full length pants. No son pantalones grandes. These are not a big size. Okay. They're grande. We'll talk about the size as in a large. Yeah. Okay. Vale. Bien. Here's some more. Let's talk more about grande. Oh, I'm sorry. Perdón. Let's go back to largo. Momentito. I want to show you something else. Bien. Okay. Por ejemplo. If I want to talk about this t-shirt, see? ¿Cómo se describe? How would I describe this t-shirt? And I'm going to call it camiseta, la camiseta. La camiseta. Oh, I'm going to say es una camiseta. It's a t-shirt. Es una camiseta negra. Bien, sí. De manga. Manga is this part of the shirt, guys.
Sleeves.
See. What kind of sleeve is that in the
Long.
black shirt?
Lagos.
Largos.
But can I say largo? If I say manga,
Larga.
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 Laga, yeah.
So when you're buying something as a tourist, you
Hmm.
want a long sleeve, it's de manga larga, de manga larga. Or I might say, tiene, it has, I'm talking about the t-shirt, right? I don't have to
Mhm.
say it has, I just inject that verb, tiene, it has. Tiene mangas largas.
Mhm.
Okay, I can do that. Okay, bien. Bien. And with this, see, yeah. And cortas, mangas cortas would be a short sleeve t-shirt. And I'll plug that in so you see a couple of examples. So, okay, I'm going to ask you to take a look at some of these as part of your homework. So you see lots and lots of examples, and you're going to see the nationality examples at the end. Yeah. Yeah. So you're going to get a lot of practice. You're going to have a fill in the blank, and you're going to look at all those pictures, and we'll open with that next week. What I want you to do for homework, though, because I'm looking, estoy atrasada. I am behind. Okay. What I'm going to tell you to look at for next week for the brand new stuff is the next chapter is chapter 6. You're going to skip chapter 6. Skip it.
Ooh.
Why? Because it's complicated. Chapter 6 talks about
Okay.
around town. It talks about around town. Actually, I may ask you, I'm trying to refresh my memory. No. I will tell you to skip it entirely. It's actually important. Getting around town, like asking for directions, is important, but there are a whole bunch of kind of complicated verbs that may come into play. So that's why we're skipping it. We're going to go straight to something that's more straight at you. Easy to, well, more straightforward. I'm going to ask you to look at and read chapter 7, which is called Everyday Life, La Vida Diaria. El capítulo 7, La Vida Diaria, Everyday Life. The main takeaway from this is they're going to start to talk about other verbs that are not ser, estar, or tener.
Mm.
They're going to talk about the whole world of regular verbs. And just like ser had a bunch of different forms, a form for yo and tú and él y a usted, a form for nosotros, a form for ellos y a ustedes, all other verbs are going to do that. But what they're going to talk about in chapter 7 is what we call regular verbs. Regular verbs are, well, they're regular. They're verbs that follow a predictable pattern that you can say, oh, if I know this pattern, I can apply that rule to all the verbs that fall into the regular category. Yay.
Mhm.
So we'll start to expand what you can use a lot. But the caveat, the precaution I need to throw out there is that for regular verb, and I'm going to give you some videos to watch. These are going to be really super important videos. What's going to happen is Spanish, if a verb is regular, you can see my blank screen, yeah? See?
Yes.
Mhm.
If verbs are regular verbs, and this is for present tense, just to talk about, what is happening right now, right? That's all that present tense means. Verbs will fall into 3 categories. They'll either end in AR, or they'll end in ER, or they'll end in IR. And those are what we call the infinitives.
Mm.
What is an infinitive? An infinitive in English, it means to do something. In English, we have to have to. Okay?
Mhm.
And I'm going to give you an example. We would have to say to speak. In Spanish, that is an AR verb, hablar.
Habla.
we have a really easy verb that means to eat. Okay. And that verb is comer, an ER verb. Okay. In English, we have to say to live. Okay. In Spanish, it happens to be an IR verb. Hablar is a typical regular AR verb. Comer is a typical regular ER verb. Vivir is a typical regular IR verb. And we're going to start in this next chapter 7, or this chapter after you skip the middle one there. We're going to talk about what happens with regular AR verbs, regular ER verbs, regular IR verbs. In English, when we use these verbs, speak, eat, live, we get rid of this word to. Yeah. We don't say I to live. You say I live. And they live. But he live in Utah. He lives. Yeah. So we take off the word to. So just as we take off the word to, eventually you will have to take off the IR or take off the ER or take off the AR, and you're going to slap on certain kind of endings. But you know, there are going to be certain things that sound kind of familiar, like that with the tener. That most thing is going to talk about the we form. An S on the end is going to be tú. You're talking to somebody using tú. And N at the end is going to be talking about more than one. So you're going to notice some things that you can kind of apply from what you heard with tener and estar and ser. But these are going to be for regular verbs. So I'm going to have some videos for you to watch that will add to what the book tells you about and just give you, oh, how does this sound? Right? How does it sound when we form that verb? And that will help you. And we're going to start to, we're going to dive right in the pool because it's a big pool of regular verbs. Bien?
Bien.
Bien? Okay. So just kind of watch those videos for, oh, here are the patterns. And don't force yourself to like conjugate every single thing. That's what we'll do in class next week, but we'll start to get you used to that. Okay? Bien?
Bien.
Excelente, excelente. Okay, eso es todo. That's it. And I only went 5 minutes over. Yay. Okay. Bien. Okay. Espero que tengan buena semana. I hope you all have a good week. Sí.
Gracias.
Y yo monto en bicicleta de montaña a las 2 de la tarde, at 2 o'clock.
Okay.
Bien. Okay.
Be
Hasta
careful.
luego.
Yeah.
Bien. Hasta
Hasta
luego.
luego.